Ahora invito al escenario a Andrés Restrepo Montoya, él es gerente general de la Bolsa de Valores de Colombia. Hoy estamos celebrando que la Bolsa de Valores de Colombia fue autorizada para poder listar valores en nuestro mercado global colombiano. Ese producto tiene la Bolsa de Valores de Colombia para atraer todos esos valores extranjeros al público colombiano.
Muchas gracias. Muy buenos días a todos. Es un gusto, de verdad, ver este salón tan lleno, con tantas personas interesadas en nuestro mercado de capitales. Yo simplemente hoy quiero darle la bienvenida a un nuevo emisor del mercado global colombiano, un emisor que es una noticia muy importante para nuestro mercado, porque es el primer emisor que lista la bolsa de valores. La apuesta por el mercado global colombiano, el mercado de valores extranjeros en Perú o en Chile, es una apuesta para elevar la oferta de valor que le damos a nuestros clientes. Ustedes saben que el valor de un mercado está constituido por la capacidad que podemos darle a nuestros clientes de construir mejores portafolios, de tener más oportunidades de inversión. La posibilidad que tiene a partir de ahora la Bolsa de Valores, como lo pueden hacer ya la Bolsa de Valores de Lima, la Bolsa de Comercio de Santiago, de listar directamente valores extranjeros, es un paso muy importante hacia ese objetivo. Para que se den una idea de la importancia del mercado global colombiano, en ese crecimiento del mercado de capitales, vamos este año a completar transacciones en el mercado global colombiano por más de $1 billón. El año pasado completamos algo más de 500.000 millones de pesos. Estamos doblando el tamaño de ese mercado. Puede ser todavía mucho más grande, pero estamos en el camino correcto. Un segundo elemento para que se nos lleven en la cabeza. Este año vamos a terminar con inversionistas que hacen al menos una transacción en el mercado global, con más de 35.000 inversionistas que hacen al menos una transacción. El año pasado fueron algo menos de 20.000. Es una oferta de valor muy potente para los inversionistas. Vamos a seguir potenciando el mercado global, vamos a seguir potenciando ese mercado de valores extranjeros. Entonces, para nosotros es un gusto hoy darle la bienvenida a un nuevo emisor, darle la bienvenida a una nueva especie, un ETF que creo que va a ser una historia en nuestro mercado.
Así como tú bien lo mencionas, Andrés, qué mejor manera de celebrar esta gran noticia que tenemos desde la Bolsa de Valores de Colombia, que listando este nuevo valor en el mercado global colombiano. En ese orden de ideas, llamo al escenario a Frank Holmes, el CEO y director de inversiones de US Global Investors, en compañía de su equipo, al escenario.
Hola.
Y como es tradicional para todos nosotros que somos parte del mercado de capitales, los invito a que nos acompañen en el tradicional toque de campana, iniciando la cuenta regresiva a partir de 5, 4, 3.
Gracias. Let's make more fun
than when we listed jets on the New York Stock Exchange. Thank you all.
Well, congratulations. We are so happy to have you here, and we know this is going to be something that's going to be very successful for you guys, for all the market, for all the participants. Congratulations.
Thank you. And from your lips to God's ears. Thank you.
A todos ustedes, muchas gracias por habernos acompañado en este momento tan especial. Ahora los dejo en compañía de Frank Holmes, que nos tiene preparado una exposición sobre todos los detalles que tenemos con este nuevo valor listado en nuestro mercado global colombiano. Frank, bienvenido.
Señor Luis, espero que su cambio. Gracias.
So we see my mic on. So thank you everyone for making this such a special event in my journey of launching jets in 2015. And I'm going to walk you through the big macro trends that I see. And that has always led me to start investing in a product or a country. And in 2003, I fell in love with Colombia, and I came to the country for the first time, and I met Uribe and his vision. And with that, I started deploying capital, and friends from San Antonio, Texas, also particularly the oil and gas business, and I came in to be the seed investor for the creation of many Canadian oil companies. And then it was gold mining for Gran Colombia to privatize it and spin it out. So I've had this beautiful long time and experience in your beautiful country. And in that journey, you see that new products come along like ETFs. And we're going to explain that my first ETF was JETS and why I created this. At the same time, I see another vision that's happening, and it's tied to JETS, but it's the great digital transformation of data centers. So this year I'm building data centers, and I will spend about $500 million, and I'm building in Sweden, Canada, and in Paraguay. So there's this idea of being in understanding big macro trends. I hope I can walk you through what makes JETS so special, that this one itty little bitty product can represent 9% of the world's GDP. And why is JETS so significant for the future and the growth of Colombia? So in the launching of JETS on the New York Stock Exchange in 2015, I had noticed that the number of flights had dropped, the price of my tickets had gone up, and I wanted to create something that was what's called quantamental. It's very mathematically driven as a product. And I wanted to capture, because there was no competition, a product that was going to capture the growth in something that was a mega trend in the rise of the middle class. And that was the idea. And so what we found is that you need to create an ecosystem. And that ecosystem, just like we have in the Amazon, there's a biological ecosystem. And by the way, congratulations, that the National Geographic Explorer of the Year is from Colombia. And that only attracts more travel. That only attracts more interest. And so we found, just like a bio ecosystem, capital markets have an ecosystem. And they all want to make money, but they all have different time horizons and different tolerances for risk to make money. But everybody in that capital market picture wants to make money. And so we found that there was this group of hedge funds that wanted to short various airlines, but they were at risk. So then they needed to have a place that would balance their risk because they went long jets. So when we launched it, immediately $10 million went into it, and it was $20 million. And even after COVID, it had its biggest growth. It went to $4 billion in assets. So there's something that tells you that these shifts are happening on government policies. There's that rate that creates a rising middle class, that there is a shift, a drama that takes place. There's a positive outcome after COVID. So jets is very volatile, and the biggest reason for that is the price of oil. And the price of oil is a large expense line item for an airline industry. So therefore, it's inversely related. Oil falls, the peso falls. Oil rises, the Colombian peso rises. In the airlines industry, if oil falls, jets goes up. If oil rises, jets go down. So in that ecosystem, there are all these traders that trade around the price of oil, jets. Now, what really surprised me is the data points of how much is rebounded. Every day, 1 million workers around the world go to airports to make the industry function. 1 million workers. And some are making $30,000 a year, and pilots for American Airlines are making $300,000 a year. To recognize that it's a huge spectrum of income levels and complexity, but it is an industry that needs 1 million workers a day, which is basically the population of Cartagena. This other data point, which really shocked me, because this year, people will book for business and for tourism $2.5 trillion US in tickets. $2.5 trillion. So this one jet's product, which is created and rebalanced every quarter of a quant model, is capturing this huge number. And then it gets bigger. There's now 27 million people involved around the world, directly and indirectly, in the airline business. 27 million. And it's only estimated to grow. And this is the number that always amazed me, that when you think of Airbus and Boeing making the airplanes, high-paying engineering jobs, down to people making coffee, it doesn't really matter what it is that the number is so big. It's 9% of the global GDP, and the global GDP is over $100 trillion. And airline bookings, just the airline cost of those tickets, is 2% of the world's GDP. So now we look at the beautiful city of Cartagena, and it's a number showing you that tourism in Colombia is about 7.5 million a year. And I'm going to give you a vision of why it's so big. San Antonio is an itty-bitty city where I live compared to Bogota. San Antonio gets 1 million tourists a month. Big difference. Las Vegas gets over 3 million tourists a month. So when government policies are made to create tourism, it explodes in job creation. And that is something that the government in Colombia is pushing for tourism. And that, to me, is a mega trend. That is a big trend, in which I always like trying to be early to have a product or as I said earlier, building data centers because I believe that there's a great digital transformation, in particular because of AI. So on this big trend, this number, it's easy to see that Colombia can be bigger than the city of San Antonio, which is 12 million tourists a year. And how many jobs will that create? Something else that's really happened since COVID is what they call digital nomads. How many here know a digital nomad? Well, they're here in Cartagena, and they love to go to Medellin. And why do they love to go? Well, they don't like to be locked out, in particular when it becomes winter in Sweden. They like to go to Spain or Portugal. In America and Canada, they love to come to Mexico, Colombia. There's good internet. There's highly educated, skilled people, and they will do coding. And they look for the hotel. They can get a great deal for a month or 2 months, or they'll go between cities, and then they go back to their country or they go to another country. The number of digital nomads is the population of Colombia. There's 50 million nomadic digital coders and consultants flying around the world. So how does Colombia get positioned to attract and capture them to come to Colombia? And that is a big opportunity, and I have seen it over and over and over. If you're early, it'll take a decade, but you can see huge growth when something changes. And what else has happened with COVID, when people feeling locked down, in particular, as you went further north, countries were locked down even more severely. Even in the country of America, the northern states were locked down much more than the southern states. And you saw a change in which is now called binge travel. Not binge eating, not binge drinking, but binge travel. And there's a new definition of luxury goods, but there's a new definition of luxury travel. And the cost of hotels have gone up. So anyone in the hotel business, in the real estate business, has seen a big surge in their cash flow and their ability to hire more people because of this idea of going to a destination. And for Canadians and Americans, Colombia is exotic. It's exotic. It's special. It's unique. And that's where I see the great opportunities. So this is just a simple visual to give you an idea of how many inbound flights. And I think that to Cartagena alone, there's 20 a month that are coming in. There's 400 a month coming into Colombia, nonstop flights from foreign jurisdictions. And this is bringing the nomads. This is bringing luxury travel. People are looking for that experience. People that want to go to UNESCO historical sites. So right here in Cartagena, the Great Wall around the old city, is a site that many people from around the world, tens of millions of people, travel around the world only to visit UNESCO historical sites. And Colombia has many. And that attracts, especially Japanese tourists will come, they want to take photographs, they want to put this on their journey through life. Now we have in this particular unique product that we created that's very mathematically driven and it rebalances every quarter, it has a lot of what they call ports, airports. It has, and you can see here in particular, Sur is a company from Mexico. It's an $8 billion company. It runs the airport in Medellin. It is listed in the New York Stock Exchange. It is listed in Mexico. So We, in this particular, in JETS, looks for companies which have a strong revenue and cash flow on a relative basis that go into this particular product. And there are many airports which are public, such as Bangkok, the Dock, Paris. These companies are all public, and they function and run their business like a private equity. So this JETS ETF has those types of companies, private equity companies that are involved in the tourism business. So how do we pick our stocks? Once again, it's quant driven. Most of the math behind here originally comes from the University of Chicago. And the University of Chicago was the sort of brain trust behind what's called the futures exchange, the Chicago Board of Trade for Stock Options. The idea of Black-Scholes model, a quant model, Nobel Prize winners, created a $100 billion exchange. Ideas from professors writing on a wall creates an industry, which is the futures market and Chicago Board of Exchange for options trading. So you've got to, we see those relationships are so important for us, and what we've done is to apply that math. And we have spent over 10,000 hours of regressional study going back now, it's over 15 years of data. And every quarter we revisit the data to see what works and what doesn't. But these are the best factors for picking the stocks. And it's looking for the momentum in revenue. It's looking at who has the lowest price to cash flow multiples. And you have this balance between two laws of physics: gravitational force, they call mean reversion, and momentum. And that's what drives this product. But most important is capturing a mega trend. And that is always the excitement, is to be able to be positioned in something that is big and that's happening all over the world. So this unique product has 40%, and those 40% are in 4 airlines. And those 4 airlines carry 65% of all passengers in America. And they are basically represent the largest airlines in the world. They don't, and that rebalancing creates this ability to be able to capture that one airline is better than the other. Whereas the other smaller airlines, to compete for growth, you have to look at the momentum in revenue, like Spirit. Spirit is famous for having the best marketing programs to drive their revenue. So it's very diversified. It captures the whole industry of the world that's related to the airline industry, from manufacturing to airports to travel on the airplanes. And that's what I'm so excited about. In 2015, I launched it. It was a big success. Then I launched it and listed in Lima, and then listed it in Mexico. And I'm most thrilled to be here in Colombia. My wife is Colombian. I have a place in the old city for the past 12 years, and I have so many dear friends in Colombia. I have been investing in this country in particular before known for resources. I publish every week, and my publications go out to 100,000 people in 80 countries, and I talk about my global travels and investing, and I can share with all of you. Arms up, please. Everyone's arms up. Arms up. Arms up. I'm looking. On, arms up. Wheels up. Wheels up to Colombia. Thank you, everyone.
Muchas gracias por tu intervención, Frank. Y bueno, pues ya es ese